What's going on, people? Welcome to Throw Down Your Questions, episode 267. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo.
Adam Vale,
What up, internet?
and Brian Manjoma.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, man, back for another one. Brett will show up when he shows up, if he shows up. You know how that goes, man. And now, before we start, we literally discussed this like 30 seconds before we started. So, Manny, what's going on with this contest, or the lack thereof a winner? You know.
So, being that the winner of the last of from our drawing on the last episode of Throwdown hasn't answered, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a redraw. So, well, we're gonna give something away today anyway, but whoever wins today will get a Death Stranding poster.
Ah, okay. So,
Everybody, we're just wait for the chat to fill up with folks. We just keep on doing. I'll keep adding names on there, and then maybe once we get a good amount, we'll do another drawing in the at some point in the show and get it rolling.
Yeah, pretty much. So we'll probably do that during the middle of the show when we got more heads in here.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, we see Do the Third in the house. He already came in before we even started. What's going on, brother? All right. No fluff. Let's get into it, man. Questions. So the first up, we got Praxelness, who joined our Discord earlier last week. So welcome, sir.
Is this the same guy who asked the question on the show that we told to come to leave a thing on Discord?
No, this was another. There's another guy. All right. So he goes, "What was the last game you bought just off the box art, knowing literally nothing else about the game?"
Shit, man, 1964. Shit.
Back when you couldn't see, when things weren't readily available, probably, and that would probably be in the 90s, where you just look at a cover, and to be honest, like we got to a point in the 90s and in the 80s where it's like there were video stores. So that game that had the awesome cover that strategically didn't have any screenshots of the video game on the back. You roll the dice and you're like, wow, this looks horrible.
Yeah.
Manny, when we rented Shadowrun, did we know what that game was about?
No, we didn't know anything about it.
So then I guess that's the last I can remember when I didn't know shit about shit. Because I don't remember knowing anything about, but I know we got hooked on that.
We just like looked at the cover and we looked at the back and like, hey, this is kind of cool looking.
That was it. Yeah, so I'll put mine in Shadowrun.
I feel like when you had rentals, you were a little bit less picky about what you would rent and not rent, because it's like it's a roll of the dice. It's like, well, you get to return it.
It was only $2 as opposed to paying a full price of a game. So
exactly. So yeah. I can't remember the last. I mean, like I said, I was probably a kid in the 80s or 80s or early 90s that maybe I bought something for the cover. But I always knew to look at the back, and it was always suspect if you didn't see any.
If it's all text.
If it was all text on the back and it had a really awesome cover, that meant all shit.
No gameplay image.
Yeah, no gameplay image.
Yeah, for me back in the day, since we were poor, I couldn't really make any snap decision like that. However, I rented a bunch of games, just based off the cover, but buying games based off the cover, you couldn't take that chance. You kind of had to do your research beforehand. So I never did that myself. Chris, did you ever do that?
Not since the Atari days, man.
Oh man! Atari was notorious for having like these bomb ass covers for shitty games.
ET, fucking garbage.
Well, no, I mean I never bought ET, but I didn't really like the movie either as a kid.
Movie scared the fuck out of me, man.
Excuse me?
Like if you look at the cover of like Missile Command or any Defender, all these super painted, beautiful covers, the game didn't look anything like them.
You use your imagination.
But you know what? We were lucky. We lived in a special time where you can go to an arcade, play a game, and then eventually it would show up on the NES. I'm like, yo, I know that game, like Elevator Action and Commando. I remember seeing the NES versions. Like, yeah, I can't wait to get it because I played in the arcade. Kids can't experience that now. I don't think there's anything that's coming to arcade first and then console.
Not anymore. Not these days.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no.
Arcades are irrelevant in America,
Japan is still big, though.
Yeah, that's why I specifically said America. Japan is still popping. Oh, what's going on,
I remember-
Praxilness? The guy who asked us the question, he goes, Ape Escape is the only game I ever remember buying a game just off the cover. There you go. It had monkeys in it, right?
I bought Ape Escape off the demo,
Excuse
off the
me?
PlayStation Underground demo. I was like, oh shit, it's pretty fun.
Bring it back to Underground.
Yo, I mean, I always talk about this game, but the game that I bought off of, probably the last one that I bought off of the box art was the Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, and I'm like, I was expecting a fighting game, and I was like, yep, dead wrong.
Man.
Spin-off.
Was that the Mortal Kombat Mythologies?
Yeah, that was the Sub-Zero like
Yeah, I
action
remember-
adventure game, or I don't know what the hell.
It was like a side-scrolling adventure.
Yeah.
I rented it. I was like, I returned that shit the same
This is
day. I was
bullshit,
like, oh
Mr.
no.
Davis.
It was horrible. I was expecting a Mortal Kombat game. I was just thought, okay, maybe Sub-Zero is like the main focus of it, but I wasn't wrong. But I wasn't getting what I was expecting.
Damn, man. That game sucked.
Yeah.
Brian, what about you, man?
Nope, never done that. I just don't see the point. I always go off the gameplay itself and then take from there.
Yeah, see, that's how you know this man is young, because back in the day, we didn't have access to gameplay, you know?
No game.
I mean,
we didn't have a
If
phone
anything,
right in front
if you were lucky, you had a game magazine that you could actually look at and see what was there. But nope.
Yeah, let me read some more of the chat here. Kristen, thank you as always for moderating. She says, I researched the hell out of a game before buying or asking for them because I only got 1 or 2 a year. Yeah, that was my same situation. I only bought 1 or 2, well, my mom, bought me 1 or 2 games a year. So had to be very precise about that shit. You know,
But not only that, if you think about it, it's like, how did we even know about games? We knew them from either ads and comics
Magazines.
or from like
Remember back in the
magazines,
day?
Nintendo Power, Game Pro. So you would go based off of that. And then if you went and saw it in the store or at a Blockbuster or mom and pop, then you would rent it. And then sometimes, I don't know if you're a local mom and pop. I know Blockbuster didn't do this, but mom and pops would say, hey, you could even buy it from them after a while.
I've heard of that. Yeah, when some shops do that. Yeah,
keep renting. Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll sell you this." So
yeah, especially if you keep
if you keep renting
it over and over and over again,
Mhm.
Well, you eventually bought that Shadowrun from the
Yeah. Eventually, I started buying all kinds of stuff from them.
Yeah. All right, man. Next question here. Did Xbox blow its load too early by showing the new console at the Game Awards? Yes, it got people talking and it got headlines, but it seems that all the hype right now is going towards the upcoming PS5 reveal. So yeah, did it blow their load? I don't know if they really blew their load. It's just it's just that the PlayStation is just what's in the zeitgeist at the moment. You know,
because it's just turning the attention. It's like, all right, you know who's in boxing in corner number 1. You want to say, all right, who's in corner number 2? What do you got? What do you got?
What you got? You know,
exactly. That's all it is.
I wish Brett was here though, because he was the one saying that Xbox got the lead on Sony and Sony's not going to be able to recover that. I'm like, they already did, but with a fucking logo.
With a logo.
With a logo, you know.
I think the thing about it is like people are waiting so hardcore on what Sony's reply is to this. It's giving them more momentum.
I find it funny that people think that the Xbox can actually compete. Just for the simple fact that PlayStation as a brand is way bigger than Xbox is, and the only way Xbox can outsell the PS, like the next Xbox can outsell the PS5, is if PlayStation fucks up. That's the only way it can do it. If they're both in equal footing, PlayStation will outsell them. And I'm not saying that PlayStation is going to be a better console than the Xbox or it's going to have more exclusives or whatever, but PlayStation will just outsell Xbox because of the brand name and because people are loyal to that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I just don't see why people would think, oh,
what people are thinking. I haven't seen anyone said it. Oh yeah, we can't wait. They're gonna outsell. I don't think that. I think they're just hyped on the tech itself. I don't know if anyone's pushing to be like this massive console seller.
Well, didn't they? Wasn't it just mentioned that Brett said that I don't know how PlayStation can.
Well, that's Brett, but that's what I'm saying. Brett's in his own
Well,
little world.
I'm talking about my comment
Everybody
was on
else.
that. Not,
I mean, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen these floods of like, oh, where I can't wait. They're gonna smoke them, and it's no. I don't think anybody expects that. They just expect new tech.
try the Xbox forums or Phil Spencer's comment section or
Uncle Phil.
Twitter.
I follow Uncle Phil. He doesn't
Check
say
his mentions.
Nice guy. He's a nice guy. I follow him all the time.
It's interesting.
Except he needs to stop looking up all the time. Makes him look hoity-toity. He's always like this.
Oh yeah, Phil. Yeah, and he also looks like Vince Vaughn. You know.
It's like, yo, man, I don't know if I could trust Vince Vaughn in this one.
Yeah, right. He's always like with his hands in his pockets, looking up. Kind of
like,
looking down.
Hey guys, I'm too good to look down at you. to look me straight in the eye.
Yeah. All right. Did everybody answer? There's not really much to say about that one.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on here. Our boy Sketch, our Monster Hunter companion, man. So he has a double part question. It's not two questions, it's a double part. He framed it as two questions. It's really a double part question. How will the extra month help Final Fantasy VII Remake? Any idea what would have caused this delay so late in development? Simple. Bugs. Got to get rid of those bugs.
They probably got some bugs.
As a matter of fact, check this out. CD Projekt Red the other day, they said The Witcher, not The Witcher, Cyberpunk. The game's been done for months now. They said it's been done. All this that they're doing now is all bug testing.
Yeah, they're crushing bugs.
Yeah, so I'm guessing, the game's going to be better because they're going to have less bugs in there. They're going to have more time to work those bugs out. Well, especially these days, you really need to work on this because there's just so many games with bugs now,
And not to mention, the thing is, they probably want to squash a lot of those kind of game ending bugs, for those horrible freezes and shit like that.
Yeah.
For the initial, the minute when you stick that thing in. Money bet there's going to be another patch that they continue to work on to get all the other things addressed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the only game that I don't remember having a day one patch was actually Death Stranding. They actually had a day later it came the patch.
No,
right, that probably wasn't ready. Whatever bugs are in the game that they would go, okay, launch it and we'll just have the patch out day one. Mm-hmm. It's obviously not ready. Mm-hmm. So they need to get that shit, ready before release. So just pushed it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything more about that. It's just they got to get rid of the bugs, man. Got to work out the pranks. Yeah, right. All right.
Do you think it wasn't part of the question how it'll affect it?
Yeah, how will it affect it? Yeah, it'll affect it by being a better game. That's how,
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's I don't know why anybody gets bent out of shape about delays a day, a month, a few, or a little bit while longer than that. Because all that means is just they're going to be working on it. They're not going to be just sitting on their hands, just waiting for the game to come out. They're working to get the thing, as cleaned up as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was, there's a lot of other games that might get affected by maybe a month or 2 or 3 delay, but a game like Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's this game has stands beyond stands for a freaking remake of a game. This game, it's a great game, but it's one of the most overrated games of all time. And people are gonna be hyped for this shit regardless. It can be delayed another year. People are still be hyped for an episode of this shit.
It is pretty ironic that this game, has kind of been delayed for years, if you really think about it, and now it's getting delayed again. And going back to what we were talking about, it's interesting how no one talks about how they don't call it episodes anymore.
They don't call it episodes, but the funny thing is, it's it's their masterful marketing because they're kind of playing on the DL oh yeah, this is Final Fantasy VII. No, you're gonna be probably buying another Final Fantasy VII in maybe 2 years.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe less.
Yeah, how long is it gonna take for them to finish up the fucking game? You know what I'm saying? Whole game.
I mean, this is a remake of another game. It's
I have a prediction.
Prediction.
I have a prediction.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to Brett who's joining us right now.
Happy birthday, bro. I have a feeling.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate
It
it.
actually is going to be his birthday really
It
soon.
is,
His
it is.
actual
Yeah.
birthday.
Ironically enough,
Yeah. And Brian, get on camera,
What-
man. People like seeing the fireplace, bro.
I got guests over. I don't know if they want to be on.
no.
Fair enough.
exactly.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Fair enough.
okay.
Adam, go ahead.
But,
Prediction.
I think the game 7 is going to stretch the entire year.
Well, I mean,
I
it's getting stretched
Yeah.
by being delayed.
No, but even when it does come out, I have a feeling it's just going to be bits and bits. It's going to be the entire year, and then 2021 they'll release a complete edition.
No, I don't.
the episode.
I doubt
think
that.
I think the second episode will be
Yeah.
next year.
I think so.
because they haven't talked
Or
about
2
it.
years.
Well, why, they're not gonna. Of course, they're not gonna talk about it.
Exactly.
The reason why they're not gonna talk about it, it's gonna set people ablaze. Right now, they're playing on the role. They're playing on the line of like, oh, this is Final Fantasy VII. It's coming out. They're kind of
Yeah.
playing on the DL a little bit. That it's only Midgar.
Oh,
Yo,
shit.
some
Oh
gay-
damn it! Yo, I didn't know Manny's take was that hot.
No, it was some gay that said this was
Oh,
hot.
shit.
He
Oh,
goes,
what'd
he
he
goes,
say?
he goes, your face is overrated, Euro. Sit down.
Damn.
Oh shit!
It's like that. It's like that.
Fire.
That's some Mexicano puchinche right there, man.
Yo, man, I gotta tell Sub Gators. I'll see him later this year, man.
Excuse me?
I'll come to your house, yo.
Yo, man, I'll come to your house. Say that to my face, dog.
You know? Oh, man. Anyway,
No, but
go
it's
ahead, bro.
yeah, they're not gonna release the second episode this year.
Nah, hell no, hell no.
They're barely releasing the first one this year.
You know?
So it's like what else they like if they're fixing bugs for the first one, then I doubt the second one's freaking ready. So I don't know. I'm just down on this game because so many people are super hyped for a game they already played. It's like, come on.
Did you play it?
Yeah. This show's pretty great, but people are saying this is the best RPG of all time. It's like, come on.
I think it's because it had such a great story and it pulled in a different audience.
I thought Crisis Core had a better story than this one.
And because of that new audience, because
Yeah.
at that time I worked at Software Etc. when that was released. And I would see people that would come in and really go, I don't play these type of games, but I love this game. I rented it. I need to buy it. So I think that's what happened. It just spread in that direction and just pulled in a whole new audience. And because of that, those people remember it and they love it because that's all they played.
That was
And
the
it's not
their first
turn-based.
RPG. Yeah. Yeah, it's not turn-based. You know.
And it's not
What's the best RPG?
When
are
we
you
talking
talking
about Final
No,
Fantasy
we're
VII.
talking about, we were just asked why is, Final Fantasy VII being delayed, and we said it's fixed bugs. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
but was Carlos talking shit on Final Fantasy, saying it wasn't the best Final?
He said
the
it's wild.
best
He said it's
RPG?
wild.
I think
You
he
know,
was. Fight nerds.
They're not fighting
Throw
words.
down.
Throw down, baby. Let's go.
Okay, I'm just saying, objectively speaking, Final Fantasy is probably the best RPG franchise from
Oh,
old
so you're
school
not even
years.
saying JRPG, you're just saying RPG?
Yeah, from old school,
Yeah, yeah.
old school
Oh,
RPGs. Yeah,
all right.
I'd say it's probably the single best
Oh, you
RPG.
said old school RPG. So it's
Old
not,
Yeah,
school.
old
It's
school.
not gonna
Like
be
SNES
the-
era, man. Come
Wait,
on,
I'm talking about everything.
dude.
All RPGs of all
look,
time.
You have to judge
From the
something
beginning
in
of
the
time
time it
till
is
yesterday.
made. Okay, no, you can't do that. Come on.
I just did.
Well, I mean that's unfair of you.
I mean, I'm being objective, man.
You're comparing things to things that came after them, things that have learned from them.
Yeah, and I'm also comparing. So something that came out before Final Fantasy VII, let's say Final Fantasy VI, I'm comparing Final Fantasy VII, but it came after that, and it borrowed from that. So
So you're comparing
So
modern
you- so-
day RPGs to games from the 8-bit era.
yeah,
You do the same thing?
yeah.
There's no talking with you.
I mean, you just know that you're not gonna win the argument, so that's why you don't want
Well,
to
that's
keep
like
going.
comparing Reebok pumps with Nike Air Max. You can't do that.
The Jordan 1s people are still buying.
Oh, please.
Oh,
Come on now.
I mean, look at the time, especially like after 7, it did go downhill. But Final Fantasy was one of the most successful, recognized, and enjoyed franchises across the world. And Final Fantasy VII was the culmination of all of that experience and all of that talent. Square was already a fucking powerhouse. Like it was a good game, but it was also kind of this culmination of things that they had done.
And no
And
one's arguing
this is
that.
before. This is
No one's
pre
arguing
Game
that.
of Thrones. They killed the main character. That shit did not happen in those days, man. Like
No
it didn't, and that threw a lot of people were like, "Yo, I actually cared about this character," and they fucking murdered them. Spoiler.
But no one's arguing about that.
Well, you're talking about like how it's overrated. I'm kind of jumping on the bandwagon of like, no, man, it was pretty monumental for
I
its
feel-
game.
I
Grabbed a
feel
whole
like
different
it's-
audience.
I feel like if no one ever mentioned a word about Final Fantasy VII Remake, I wouldn't have said it's overrated. But ever since the whole Final Fantasy Remake train, people are pretending like there's something else to add to this experience. It's like, why can't you just let this experience stay the way it is?
You know,
You play
because a
this
lot of
game.
people wanted to see a graphical update. The whole thing started with the tech demo, and everybody just wanted a big graphical update. Instead, Square Enix is giving us this. And personally, what I think the problem is, there are people who are pissed about it. There are people who are not interested in it. And that whole group composes most of the people who played the
But-
original one, the old timers.
But why are you releasing, like, why are you remaking a game in the vein of Final Fantasy 15? Final Fantasy 15 is its own experience. It's a great game by itself.
Did
It
you,
has
do you
that
remember
type
when
of
they talked
combat.
about the
Final Fantasy
focus groups and stuff that they had? That people were tired of the turn-based. They just found it tiring, so they were like, "All right, well, we'll."
So that's why
we'll
you
do
Young
that."
Bloods. Youngbloods have not learned to appreciate turn-based. That doesn't mean you need to fucking tear apart Final Fantasy VII and strap it back together as some kind of weird, stupid Frankenstein monster. Like, I'm not on board with what they've done. As far as I know, they've gone and like spit in the face of the Mona Lisa.
Glorious War says because it'll make more money. Of course, I mean that's the reason why they're releasing it. But
Yeah.
there's nothing else to tell about this game.
Mm-mm.
Like that. That's the only reason why this game's being made. Not to service fans. It's to make more money.
Well, yeah, and I would absolutely I would agree with that, because if it was the service fans, it would have done it fucking years ago when the fans were clamoring for it instead of waiting until they needed money in the bank account.
Ever since the PS3 tech demo.
Yeah, they had to fucking wait until they didn't have the money to release it as one game. They don't even have the money to fucking make this game. They can make the first part of it and give the second part of it to us fucking later. That is waiting too long. Instead of when people were like busting down the doors and the internet was on fucking fire for it, you wait until now when you can't even finish the fucking job.
You know why I think this game is now overrated? Is because the original came out in 97? 99?
Yeah, 97.
97. And people think that 23 years after the release of this game that they're going to remake a game that's different type of gameplay that'll rival the original epic game?
Yeah, it's going to be
That's
nothing
the
but a
type of-
letdown.
I know.
I mean,
that's
well,
why I think it's
Resident Evil-
overrated, because they can't the hype around this game is so much
Okay,
so that
I
they
thought
think
you
that
were
they're gonna be
talking
able
about
to-
He's
the
talking,
original.
no, he's talking about the
My-
new one. He's talking about the
My
new one.
my bad, bro. I thought you were talking shit on the original Final Fantasy, and
That's
I had to
what he
step
said
up.
too.
I just think Final Fantasy VII
That's what-
as an IP is overrated.
There you go. He is saying that. You're saying all of it.
As an
You're not
IP,
saying
and I mentioned, if this game was never announced to be remake, I wouldn't have said it's overrated.
Okay,
But the fact
by that definition, Resident Evil is overrated.
it is.
if you think so, that's fine. But the thing is, like the
Well,
thing
you don't
is,
want to have that argument?
I don't disagree
You
with
go all
you.
in?
He agrees. He agrees it's overrated.
I agree.
But that
it's
Resident Evil
overrated.
2 changed. They removed the tank controls, right?
I
They
love-
went with
I
a
re-
different-
I
No,
love
Resident Evil 4.
I love Resident
Which,
Evil.
no,
Resident
no,
Evil
the
7,
new one, the
Resident
remake. Didn't the remake change some stuff with the controls? Because I remember I played some of it and it wasn't.
Yeah,
the
but
same controls.
but Final
person,
Fantasy
yeah.
2 wasn't the greatest game ever made, according to a lot of people. You know, so that they had room for improvement. Final Fantasy 7 is the greatest game ever made, according to a fucking plethora of people. And now they're remaking it, and they're expecting it to be in the same caliber or even
Or
better.
you
It's
know.
one of the top 50.
Yeah, get the hell
It's
out of here,
fucking
man. That's
better.
why I
Well,
think
they think it's the amazing story. It's like, no, there's that's like saying like a different author can write your book and it'll be just as good. No, it has to do with the storyteller. It has to do with how you set everything up. It's everything put together, and you're not going to be able to take it apart and bolt it back together with new bits and have it be the same thing. I mean, you couldn't change the musical score on it and have it be the same game. You might be able to update a little bit, do some live instrumental shit, but you would have to keep all the fucking same songs. Like, and we're not even talking about minute changes like that. We're talking about them changing the fucking core experience of the game.
It might be good. I mean,
Yeah,
think of
it's
Willy
just-
Wonka
it's
and
like a
Chocolate Factory.
reimagining,
That was
basically,
better than
you know.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we're
No,
getting
Charlie was by the author.
Yeah,
That was his version.
we're getting off track. We're getting off track now, but it was a good discussion though. Moving on here, Johnny W. Uppercut. This is a very interesting question for him. The first one: why is it that people are not giving the same kind of backlash to CD Projekt Red for delaying Cyberpunk 2077 after giving a release date and taking pre-orders like they did to Naughty Dog with The Last of Us 2? So he's saying that they're not getting as much flack as Naughty Dog is for the same
Was
type
this
of
Sketch
delay.
asking this?
No, Johnny W. Uppercut.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
Sounded
that-
like,
didn't hear
it
me
sounded
during the
like, it
last
sounded like a
podcast.
glorious war question.
Oh. So yeah, Brian,
I
why don't
didn't
you
know
start us
Naughty Dog
off with
took
this
shit.
one? Brian,
Who
why don't you
was
start us
bitching?
off?
Why me first?
Yeah, why him? Why
you
you
know
not-
You
why?
haven't said
Why are you
anything.
doing
No,
that?
because you're Mr. Cyberpunk, man.
We're doing this by time zone.
Oh, okay. I'd have to guess. I'd say that Cyberpunk fan base has more focus in their head. You know, they're not as childish when it comes to delays.
Can I just ask?
Are you implying they're more mature?
Question?
Yes, Last of Us fan base have a rabid idiots for the most part. It's like, oh gosh, it's Last of Us, the best game ever. Like, no, it's not. Shut up.
Hey, can I ask a serious question? And I could be wrong about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it valid to say that Cyberpunk has a fan base when it hasn't even come out yet?
Oh, it does.
Yes.
Have you seen Twitter? It's a fucking rabid fan.
No,
base.
I'm saying
it's
it-
the developers that have the fan
Oh,
base.
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah,
there
it's
you
CD
go.
Projekt Red that has a fan base. Cyberpunk is they're just hyped for it, but they haven't played it. So how can they be fans of something they haven't
Okay.
played?
Okay, I can swap the words around.
Well, that was like the Death Stranding.
Wait,
I'm not criticizing.
Let Brian finish. Go ahead, Brian.
I can swap the words around. The CD Projekt Red fan base are more mature than the Last of Us fan base. They seem to not give a damn and say, okay, cool, you know, we are excited for your game, please take your time. Whereas with Last of Us fan base, they probably have fanboys. So it's like, oh yeah, we need this game to come out because we've had nothing to rave about since Death Stranding was kind of meh. And since then, they've had no games since like God of War, so they need something to have ammo about. That's my guess. And The Last of Us is that game that they all just preach about because it's a game of the decade according to PlayStation Lifestyle, which is like
Yo,
really
Brian.
like the
Would you
PlayStation,
say it's overrated?
the PlayStation magazine rates it game of the decade. Like no shit.
Oh,
Would I say would I say it's overrated? I already did, and I'll say it again. I said that after I played it. It's like, yeah, the game is overrated. It is. Like,
Yo, man,
Glorious
no one talks
War is
about
not
gameplay.
happy right now, Brian. He goes, Brian is salty because The Last
Tell
of
me-
Us won more
tell
Game
me
of
how
the
good the
Decade
gameplay-
awards.
Tell me how good the gameplay is, and then we can talk. Because all you're gonna do is talk about like, oh yeah, the sad dad was very sad. It's like, oh wow, really? Oh gosh, that's so amazing. Let me just fall asleep real quick. So yeah, I have no interest. Yeah,
He
the
says,
game
like,
is
yeah.
rated. Like it's 9. Like if that's a 9 to
Overrated.
you, you need to like have more numbers in there because that's not a 9.
Oh man, he says Brian is such a PC Master Race fanboy.
See, he can't argue on the game itself. He has to go and do personal attacks, which means that I've already won.
He's upset that it's being delayed. Like what? I don't see the.
No, he doesn't
I
like
find
he
it
doesn't
funny
like
how, like,
Brian
you can't
slander. Yeah.
Oh,
I find it funny how like you can't counter my point. Instead, you have to just talk about something else. It's like really, like to me that shows that I've won because I'm still talking about the game. I don't know you, so you can do anything you want, but I don't care. Like I'm talking about the game. So unless you can come up with points that I'm wrong about on the game front, then as far as I'm concerned, I've won.
He says
Shots
he's,
fired.
Yeah, he says he's not upset.
Okay, cool.
Throw
I don't
down,
care.
man. Throw down.
Like
I love
the
it.
game that exists, I don't care. Like fine, like it wins awards. Fine, it wins awards from people that are half idiots anyway. So I don't care. Like, come on, it's like the gaming. It's game journalism. They don't know how to jump over rocks, so I'm not surprised.
Oh shit!
Damn.
They don't know how to double
They
jump.
don't know how to air dash. They don't know how to air dash.
Like, I can't be mad at that. It's like okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, I think that the fan base just seems to be more reserved and don't seem to be like upset about that. And plus, it's a game that was announced in 2013, so they've had plenty of time to wait, and I don't think that waiting like a bit more time is going to make it that big of a change, in my opinion.
Wait, Cyberpunk was announced in 2013?
Yeah, they had the
They
announcement
had
trailer.
yeah, they had the CG, the lady with the
Yeah.
robot arm and all that stuff.
This is getting Last Guardian level of, since it's announcement to like it's actually going to come out.
But it didn't stop and get canceled like that, Gordon.
No, I mean
Gordon
they
had
just
kinds of
all
issues.
they did was they just announced that they had the game. The game was coming. And,
Yeah.
they
There's
really
no trailer, just like, hey, here's
We're working on
some
a new
footage
game.
of something that's a concept of what we like, and we're working on it, and that's it.
Mhm.
So
That's crazy though. I mean, I'm not saying that the game's going to be bad because of it. I'm just saying it's been a while.
In fact, they made that announcement around the time when Witcher 3 was coming out.
yep, I think he actually made it just before Witcher 3 came out.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I think. I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Throw it in there.
I'm throwing it in right now. This is a roundtable question. It's just a simple answer. What game are you most looking forward to this year? The Last of Us 2 or Cyberpunk 2077? I'll start with Manny since
None of them. I'm not buying either of those games.
Uh-oh.
I've already said my piece on The Last of Us. I'm like, Last of Us 1 was good enough. I don't need a 2. And Cyberpunk, I don't really care for it. Not that I it's not really I don't care for it. I just don't want to get involved because I know it's going to be a 1,000-hour game. And you see how long it's taking me to fucking play Death Stranding. I don't really want to deal with it.
Funny enough, they actually came out and said it's going to be shorter than The Witcher 3 because they wanted it to be a bit more replayable. So it's actually shorter.
That's a selling
It's not-
point.
Well, they should tell Henry Cavill that because he apparently played The Witcher 3 like 3 times. All the way
Henry Cavill's that guy. Like, did you know that when he got the part for Superman, he actually missed the call because he was playing World of Warcraft.
He's a gamer.
He's actually a hardcore gamer too. Like,
Yeah.
Plays on PC.
Yeah. Adam, what about you?
Arcade One Up Pinball. Yeah, I'm not spending any time with those other two shits. It's going to be something fun. I just don't have time.
Damn.
I just don't have time. I just not no.
You don't have time.
Not for that type of shit.
Yeah, man, you're gonna be playing Call of Duty, man.
Call of Duty is jump in, shoot some bitches in the face, talk shit about them online, and then jump out and do something else.
Call of Duty is like a 6-hour experience.
Yeah, you go in there, but then it's not even that. Once you get that done, you just run around in multiplayer and you have fun.
So you're not gonna. Okay, so Chris, what about you?
Resident Evil 3, was that an option?
Yeah.
No. It was just between two games.
Oh yeah, no, Resident Evil 3.
Fucking, I'm not.
He's not interested. That's the thing.
Fuck y'all, man.
But that's it, Carlos. That's the thing. Not a lot of
Yeah,
people
Carlos
are
would have been
interested
pissed at my
here.
answer because it wasn't either of these either.
That's what I'm saying. It's like no one's really hyped on this. The Last of Us, the first one was great, but did we really want more? That was a fucking.
I'm not
depressing
asking you to
story.
be hyped
No-
about.
no
I'm
one's
just saying
hyped.
between.
No one's hyped here at him on the internet.
That's what I'm saying.
different
No,
story.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But keep going. But keep going, Carlos.
Keep going, Carlos. Actually, no, Carlos is already upset because no one's giving him a straight answer.
Well,
This
there's
is-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just asked to choose which one would you be more hyped for between two games. No one's answered.
Wait, which one we would be more hyped for? I thought you said which one we were hyped for. If
More. I
that's a
said
different
more.
question.
we're just
I said more.
comparing,
Yeah, that's the whole. That's the whole.
hypothetical.
All right, wait. I'm gonna give Carlos a genuine answer. Out of the two,
Yeah.
hypothetically, I would be more interested in Cyberpunk.
same here.
Yeah,
Just
I'd go with
because Last of Us,
Right.
like Adam said, like we got that story, like
Yeah.
it was finished,
Brett.
that. Yeah.
and it's something new.
Brett,
Yes.
Last of Us or Cyberpunk? Which one would you be more interested in?
I mean,
We already know your answer, by the way.
We know your
No,
answer,
I mean,
but you
I'm
need to confirm.
torn on this question.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I want to like Cyberpunk. I really, really do. I'm just thoroughly unimpressed by literally everything that I hear, so I have to go Last of Us by default. Last of Us is a great experience. It's a fun game. Well, fun may be the wrong word for it.
Okay.
It's an awesome game. It is an experience, but it's not. It's. You guys are gonna take this the wrong way. It's not one of my favorite games, just because you play it and then it's done. and that's great. It's a great experience, but my favorite games are the ones that I can put 200 hours in. So as much as I love Last of Us, I would like to say that I would like Cyberpunk more because it's more my type of game. But I honestly do not understand what seems so appealing, other than the fucking concept. The concept sounds appealing, and it's coming from a company that has rightfully garnered a lot of love, but this is not their wheelhouse. They've never made a game like this before. They've made huge promises. The things that I've seen have been completely unimpressive. They've delayed the game almost a concerning amount of times, not time, but times. If you set a new timeline, you should probably get a pretty good fucking idea of when it's going to be instead of changing the date like 4 times, which maybe you want to do because you don't say the game is coming out when it's little more than an idea. I feel like this thing has been so brought up in the limelight that it may end up a monolith to mediocrity. I'm not 100% sold on it. So, Last of Us.
Tony.
Last of Us because it's going to take a shorter time to beat than Cyberpunk.
Last of Us because I know it'll give me a short, sweet, memorable experience, and then I'll move on to the next game that I'm playing.
Yeah, pretty much. Cyberpunk.
Either that, or you get horribly frustrated and say the game is garbage and throw it into the garbage can.
Yeah,
yeah, for me, it's. I think I'm looking forward to both of them, but Cyberpunk is the one piquing most of my interest, just because it seems like a new experience.
It does, but what are you excited about?
I'm excited about the mission structure, the open world, how it looks like pretty lively. Like, I mean, I'm basing all of this from that one demo. Like, was it 28 minutes?
The fight in the bathroom and all that stuff.
The one where they drive the car and they're chasing someone, and that one, and I don't know, the world just was really intriguing to me, and yeah, I mean, Last of Us, I know I'll like it, but I think it's this is what I'll say. I think Cyberpunk has a higher ceiling when it comes to like the game, but it also has a lower floor.
So let me ask you, are you excited for the Cyberpunk game that's coming out, or are you excited for a AAA Cyberpunk game?
I'm excited for the Cyberpunk game coming out because I also respect the fact that CD Projekt Red is a really good studio.
They are, but this
you
doesn't
seem torn.
I am, because I don't. This feels out of their wheelhouse. This is not like The Witcher. I don't know if those skills are transferable.
How different is it? It's literally just The Witcher with first person mode. I mean, you can literally transplant Witcher into that same sort of idea. It's gonna probably the same sort of thing. You go somewhere, somebody's gonna ask you to do something, you go do it, you come back, you get rewarded. There's some sort of story plot.
Aren't they promising more than that though? Like, isn't it supposed to be more interconnected and adaptive?
Who knows? They promise a lot of shit,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much room for disappointment with.
I just feel like it's like we already played The Last of Us, and to be honest, it's going to be Last of Us, more of the same sort of thing. You going into this bleak universe, where you're asked to do fucked up things to fucked up people, and then what are the repercussions on your character or whoever the world around you or your little zeitgeist of friends.
But it's a genuinely good story.
It's a good story, but I feel like at the same time we don't need any more.
Brian.
That's at least my impression of it. We don't need any more. Where it ended is fine. But the thing is that I feel like now we're on borrowed time. Now it's like, now we have to go down this road again. Like, do we? I would have preferred Naughty Dog do just something new. But
you didn't think that there was room for more story to be told in Last of Us? I thought one of the things we all talked about was
no. I've always said from the beginning that where the game ended is fine. It doesn't need to be. There doesn't need to be any more.
Where the game ended was not fine.
What else? What else is there to tell about Last of Us?
You don't leave it. That's some Lady and the Tiger bullshit right there. You don't just be like, oh, and then they wandered off into the fucking sunset. And who knows what the hell happened next?
What else is there you need to tell? What importance do you need to tell about this? Resolve
the goddamn conflict that drives the whole plot. That's what you do.
What is the conflict?
The conflict is the overall conflict is the infection and the fact that Ellie.
No, it isn't.
No, there's the personal conflict, and then there's the overarching conflict.
The conflict is officially the conflict is resolved because it just was never resolved. Just like how real life is.
One of the conflict arcs is. The other one,
and I know you like to have a big old explanation for what the outbreak was and all the nitty gritty stuff. They're not going to give you that shit in this.
No. I don't even need that. Just literally. So what you're telling me is it's okay to end the game and saying, and the only person who carries the cure in their blood and is the last hope for humanity walks off into the sunset and lets humanity tragically wither away. Like that is not the fucking end of the story, and you goddamn know it. So it just means that the story isn't over.
Totally end it off that way and be fine. But I feel like we're so stuck. Our world is so stuck with some sort of idea of like, well, we need to have a little bit more. We don't need more. That's all that needed to be said was there. The story of Last of Us is about those characters. It's not about the zombie apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse is what their exterior motivation, but it's not an internal thing. And I think
you put a moral obligation on this character.
That's why the story could end that way, and you could just leave it that way. But what are we going to do? What are you going to be doing in Last of Us 2? It's going to be a revenge plot. It's going to be like that. Well, I just don't need any more stories told in there.
Yeah, I think there's a moral imperative put on Ellie to do something about the fact that she carries the only cure. And if, in fact, they don't do anything about it, that makes her a terrible person.
I almost think that even that is not going to be really addressed in this either. I don't think it's going to.
Well, no, of course, it's going to be a trilogy.
Yeah, it's going to be
they're going to make progress on it, but they're not going to answer it.
They're not going to even go into it. And the minute they start to do it, it's just going to lose any sort of weight.
I agree. Like I agree with your point. I mean your sentiment, but I disagree with your point. Like I think the thing that'll keep the whole story intact, or why we even need another story, is because the ending of the first one was something. It's like it was a decision that Joel made, where we want to see what the ramifications are to that decision. Like they did that at the very end to see, okay, so now we're gonna have to see what the ramifications are. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I said it's Lady and the Tiger bullshit, because that stuff happens after this, important stuff, and the game just kind of says, the narrative just kind of says like, I don't know, why don't you just kind of fill in the blanks? And my answer is because that's not my fucking job. That's the job of the goddamn writer. Do it.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's like, I think you have more to talk about when you give a semi-open ending as opposed to a definite bullet point. But
open endings are lazy.
Feel with that how you feel.
I mean, that is a subjective thing. I will admit to that. Some people like open endings. I think they're personal lazy bullshit.
I think sometimes an open end, like the thing is, like, how can you end the zombie? Like, Did
you watch Sopranos? Did you like the ending of Sopranos?
What do you think? What do you think the ending could be to this? To be honest, it's never going to be anything good, and it's never going to compare to the first one.
Of course it is. There's tons of good.
Because the one issue, and this happens with all zombie apocalypse sort of stuff. You can't really end it. It's always going to end up fucked up.
Of course you can end it. There's a classic story structure that you just plug it. Look, there's conflict.
How did Night of the Living Dead end? It didn't end.
Yeah, I know that.
How did Day of the Dead end? It didn't end. None of those things have an ending. They're all left open for you to think about what do you think is going to happen next, because it's continuous. You could never really give a definitive ending to it unless you do the bullshit dumb ending where some asshole shows up, hey look guys, I got the cure, everybody's cured, But they're never going to do that.
Why?
They're not going to do that. They're never. Gonna, they're not. Gonna, they're not going to. They're not going to let.
Oh,
They're not.
God.
They're not going to go. They're not going to go out and be like, Ellie is the cure and fix everything. It's not going to happen. She'd die before that happens.
I disagree. I think
To me that's the bullshit ending right there. And everything was fixed with the magic cure.
If you'd let me explain, there's actually a fairly decent story structure that I said you can plug into this, and that's that you're trying to get back to normalcy, but with a different version of normalcy. Games generally start with some sort of normal, and then they're or stories start with some sort of upheaval and normal, and then there's some sort of conflict upheaval, and then there's personal character conflict as well. The story conflict of this is Ellie carries the cure in her blood. These people wanted to take it out of her fucking brain, which was unacceptable, but she carries a moral imperative by having this cure in her blood. And it's a dark secret. So you get to the point where she learns and grows as a character and eventually finds a place where maybe either through having a vaccine that they can only produce in small scale or just her having kids, there is some pocket of human population that lives to exist in this renewed but different world. That's not a bullshit closer story. In fact, it's very thematic with what the game has already visually going on with the everything being grown over and nature taking back society. The idea of it going back into kind of a primitive living in the skeleton of the old society wouldn't necessarily be a bullshit story thing. And you can't just write off the fact. You can't just be what is this, Star Wars, where you can just casually mention once that this is the only fucking cure to a zombie apocalypse and then never mention it again? That's way more bullshit.
I don't think it's gonna be the crux of the story. I think the main.
I don't think it's gonna be the crux of the story. They're gonna touch on it so they can make it their game.
I don't think they're gonna go out and trying to kidnap her. Like, hey, this girl's got the cure.
No, I don't think they're gonna kidnap her. I think Ellie will have a secret where she'll have to tell. She'll eventually confide in somebody. They'll be like, oh, I carry a vaccine and I'm the only person that's immune. And they're like, that could be huge. Be like, yeah, don't fucking tell anybody. And then maybe she gets fucking kidnapped and you have to go on a murder spree to save that person before they fucking figure out Ellie's secret.
Yeah. All right, I'm moving on because I'm bored with this shit.
She's got
fuck you.
Yeah, come on, let's move on, man. All right, is the delay of Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy Remake, and Marvel's Avengers and many other third-party games proof that being on so many platforms is one of the reasons why the cost of making games is so high and their quality is so low?
We don't know that.
We don't know.
No, they just want to port them all over to PS5.
Yeah,
we don't know that.
And Series X.
I
wouldn't necessarily call that like proof that games are too spread out.
We don't know that.
No, I mean, to be honest, it's like again, it's like these games are so big and complicated now. To be honest, people remember more that a game was glitchy and fucked up and broken on the first day out than they do when a game is fully good.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and
also,
you want to start out with the best foot and then continue that forward. You don't want to start out with a shitty foot like No Man's Sky.
Shitty foot.
and essentially try to change people's mind. No, it's better now. It's good. You don't start with a Fallout 76 all broken and janky and horrible, and then all of a sudden try to fix it later. It's already broken. It's already done, and people are already angry about it. You're not going to change people's minds now. It's already going to be done. So what you want to do is you want to delay the game. You want to start with the best foot forward, and then squeeze out. Then after that, you do any sort of bigger changes.
I prefer a delay over a shitty game that needs a bunch of patches.
Yeah,
you don't want that either. Like when you want, again, you stick the game in. You at least expect it before the day one patch, which the mandatory day one patch. At least the game will work, right?
Yeah, Brett, go ahead, bro.
I think it would help if they didn't fucking call a press release when the game is nothing more than
a logo. Yeah,
not delay the game for goddamn times.
Don't
I think that's what the
we
problem
know
is.
they do that for shareholders and shit.
I know why they. I'm saying the problem doesn't lie in the game development. The problem lies in the journalists. Honestly, we report on games and we get press releases for games that are hardly more than an idea in somebody's head because it's fucking news, which then puts unrealistic expectations. Like the problem with Cyberpunk isn't, and their delay isn't like the fact that they've had to delay it several times. Like honestly, that's what happens when you show development or show so early into development. That's just going to kind of happen. And so we now have a point where we have a microscope over literally everything that's going on in the industry. I mean, the people on this podcast constantly watch every little thing that goes on in the industry. So I think us more than anybody feel like, dude, from the time we hear about a game to the time that it's actually released, like I swear to God, we're getting to the point where if Star Citizen sets a precedent, like they're going to be announcing games that my kids could play if I had kids, theoretically.
Oh man. All right. Anybody else?
I just think that they just want it on next gen platforms, so they just want just wait a while.
Yeah.
I mean, who here honestly thought that games like Cyberpunk and Last of Us were actually going to be on, or not going to be on PS5? I mean,
Right.
They're going to be up.
I mean, it just seems kind of weird. It's like, oh, look at that. Naughty Dog are making a Last of Us game at the end of the console generation. Where have I seen that before?
Yeah, but that's also coming out for the current generation.
Yeah, but we all know that's coming for the next generation, so it's like we all knew that is going to happen. So maybe they just want a bit more time so that when they release this gen and the next gen ones, they're both in a quote-unquote good state.
I think if anything, it hurts them if you're thinking with that logic, because then it's too close and people will be like, I'll just wait. I'll just wait.
Well,
so
that's the whole reason why they don't. That's the whole reason why they don't say it. Mm-hmm. Because the minute that you start saying we're already thinking about the future, we're going to make a PlayStation 5 version, that's the minute that you start to lose sales. So they don't say that. That's the same reason why they're not saying that there's multiple editions of Final Fantasy VII coming in the future. Even though it's information that's out there, it's not a bullet point that sits out there for everyone to see. That's the whole smoke screen. The thing about it is never put something in somebody's face for them to notice it. You just gloss it over and then be like, oh hey, we just so happen to have a PlayStation 5 Xbox Series version. That's all it is.
Pretty much. All right, I don't think we need to go more deep.
What is it? What's it saying? Out of sight, out of mind?
Yeah. All right, yeah, it's because of next gen. That's what's going on here. All right, moving on to Mr. Damien. Now, Damien, we've actually answered this question before. He's basically asking us, what kind of game would we make if we were game developers? We've answered that before.
A bunch of times.
But I will read his answer though.
What would he make?
Yeah, he says he would make an episodic thriller like Heavy Rain, but with a protagonist who is the female equivalent of Solid Snake, who is trying to live a normal life, but her enemies found her. It would run on. Yeah, interesting.
StarCraft Ghost.
Yeah,
that's the story of StarCraft Ghost.
Yeah,
that's the story to Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh shit!
There we go.
Wait, who wrote this? Who submitted this?
Damien.
Damien, write this script out, self-publish. Right, and then go and try to pitch it.
There you go.
There you go.
It's
Make
also
that money.
Yeah, it's also kind of the story of the Silencer from DC Comics a little bit.
It's okay. No one read that shit. So there you go. You can do it. Yeah. Make it, Damien. Do it.
He says it would run on Unreal Engine 3 and release on Xbox, PlayStation, and later on PC. He would market it on social media. Every game's marketed on social media, though. But all right, so there you go. Yeah, but we've answered this question many times.
I'm going to tell you the one thing about social media. Social media is a very interesting smoke screen when it comes to promoting games. Promoting stuff on social media doesn't exactly attribute to sales. You could have 1,000 likes on something, or billions and billions of likes, or retweets on something, and you will never see those numbers reflected inside of the actual product.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I think now is a good time to redo the contest again, because the winner of the last contest he never responded to us. He didn't.
What's up with that, man?
He didn't claim his prize, so we're gonna give you guys a free Death Stranding poster, right?
Yep, that's it. So let me actually, let's go to the next question, and then I'll.
All right, get it ready, man. All right, next question then. Black Metal Gamer. So his question is: if more console exclusives go to PC and release day and date, will that harm console sales, or will casuals keep consoles relevant? That's his question. Consoles aren't going to just go away overnight like that, bro. The people aren't going to just go, well, fuck it, I'm going to get a PC now. It's not going to happen. We talked about that last week, That's not going to happen. People are not going to invest the time and money for the most part for PC gaming. So they're going to stick with consoles. So I don't think having PC ports is going to automatically be the death of consoles like some guys believe it will. It's like, how? That's not going to happen, bro.
Yeah, I don't.
It never happened before.
Yeah, I don't see like are people going to be, obviously an enthusiast is going to go through all the trouble and do the whole thing. But if you think about it, to get a really good PC, like obviously one of the main, if you're going to get something over a PS5 / or Xbox Series X, right, compared to a PC, how much are you going to pay to get that PC up to snuff? Like how, are you, what are you going to do? Are you going to run the Last of Us 2? Well, how much would you pay to get that to run at 60 frames? You want to do the whole deal, right?
Yeah.
Some people don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. They
and I
just want
think
to play
a lot
their
of
games.
people, again, it's like, I think as an enthusiast in the enthusiast and / gaming thing, yeah, it might be it's an interesting thing to talk about. But I think regular Joe Schmo on the street is not going to be like, yo, man, I got to get myself a new PC, go play the new Last of Us and the Halo game. They ain't going to do that. They're going to be like, yo, I'm going to buy me a new Xbox for this.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll tell you, I do know what's going to die within this generation. It's going to be physical. Physical media is going to be dead.
I don't think it's going to be dead. I think it's going to become niche, like
novelty.
Like
it's
vinyl. It's going to be like vinyl. It's still going to be a
that's what I'm saying.
It'll
All
just
the
be collector's editions. Yeah,
gone.
I agree. Yeah, it'll just be collector's editions, basically.
I think a lot. Yeah, like one thing I noticed that you see a lot of is limited edition of games. Quite a bit of games have had these versions that they sell on Amazon, and they call them the limited edition or the collector's edition, which I definitely think they do smaller runs because they probably think that they're going to get better. They're probably getting better numbers online than they are getting in physical games.
Yeah.
And then they
give
you a little incentive. Hey, look, we gave you a toy.
Yeah, hold on. I got to address something. Let me get myself on camera here. Do the Third says that if you go to PC, you'll never go back to consoles. Not true, sir.
Not true.
Not true. Most of us here, there's exceptions obviously, but most of us here have played on PC, and we went right back to console. So that is not true at all.
Because they're still console exclusives. Come on, Do the Third.
Yeah, no, but it's just it's just
the ecosystem too.
Yeah.
It's
the ecosystem. Like Brian, obviously he made the jump. He didn't come back, but the rest of us kind of did.
But Carlos, that just proves his point, because he said that if they were going to release them day and date, then it wouldn't be. So, Carlos, what you just said proves what the question is.
Yeah, well, for me, it was like, it? Obviously, it's not going to kill consoles, but it's definitely not going to help. So it's like it will harm it to the extent which probably none of us really know. But for me, since I'm not, I was always hyped about consoles and buying the new shit and stuff. But this gen, I'm probably just gonna get one console, probably just the PS5, and that's it. But if all of those PS5 games are on PC and all the Xbox games are on PC, I might not even get a console anymore.
But like I said, it's the ecosystem for me, and I'm sure even for you. If we're all going to play and we're going to get the party system and we got our own setup, that's where that comes into it. If not, this game is on Epic and we got people on Steam, and you can link your friends, or we're going to use Discord instead. Fucking paying any.
Yeah, well, I mean that's true too. But if you can play Monster Hunter with someone, if it's cross platform play, then I'd just be a PC guy for the rest of the time.
Interesting. All right, moving on here.
Oh, man, is ready.
Are we ready, man?
You ready?
Yeah, let's do this, man. The wheel of actually, what the hell do we call this thing?
Wheel of Misfortune. I don't know.
The spin down. I don't know.
The spin down.
That's what I came up. But there was another name. Someone came up with something else.
I don't know. So anyway, we're gonna select one of you guys at random, and we're gonna get your new poster. Hopefully, this person will actually get the poster. Actually retrieve it.
Now remember, once whoever has been chosen, make sure you get in contact with us at Throwdown Show on Twitter.
Let me put that in here right now.
And then you just send it out there, and we'll get that out to you tomorrow. I mean, I can literally just head over to the post office, so it's all good.
All right, man. Hit us. It's called the Wheel of Names. All right, so the winner is.
Oh!
Whoa!
Wait, what?
Whoa!
Okay, should we exclude Richard from this?
Wait,
Richard. Well, we do know Richard was not a big fan of Death Stranding.
Yeah, no, I think we should exclude Richard from this one, man.
Yeah.
Should we just
Alright.
give it to Techno then, because he was the guy who was going to win?
All
should
right,
we-
let's give it to Techno.
Or should we spin it again?
Damn. Hold on, let me text Rich now.
Actually-
You Lord.
What do you guys say? Should we spin it again?
Shit. Yeah,
Oh.
I say you should spin it again because
All right.
Spin again. All right, sorry, Techno. Spin again.
All right, let's do it again.
All right.
yeah, that's only fair.
Yeah. All right. And the winner is... Oh, excuse me?
Whoa!
Oh, Glorious War.
Oh, damn, that's
Wait,
that's
didn't
gonna
he
be.
just win something? He won.
Did he win something?
Yeah. You
What?
sent him a game. Didn't he win a
No,
game?
he's in Australia. We didn't send him.
Yeah,
nothing.
you shipped him. Didn't you have to ship him a digital?
No.
You got him a digital game.
But that was like last year?
A month ago?
No,
Maybe.
it wasn't a month ago.
No
Carlos,
problem.
didn't you have to get him something?
Not Glorious War. I don't think so.
It's no problem.
It was you.
I'm
You
pretty
did.
sure.
No,
I'm pretty
no.
sure Glorious War won, but like it was a while ago.
It was a digital game.
That was a while ago. Remember
because
that?
it was-
Yeah.
It's
Damn,
okay.
everybody's yelling right now. They're saying spin again. Damn.
Spin again. Yeah.
Or-
Now, you know what?
Glorious War said last year in February.
Damn. Okay, so it's been a while since he won something. Oh, Spawn on Me got it for him. Yeah. Hey, listen, he won. People. That's
You
what
won
I'm
it.
calling. He
Glorious
won.
War, you are getting a Death Stranding poster of Tony. You have his address, right?
No, I'll get it I'll get it though.
All right, Glorious War. You know where to send it.
Yeah, man.
All good.
Yeah, a month ago was last year. No, it was last year, not the fucking 2018 last year, bro.
Hey, listen,
Fuck out
hey,
of
listen.
here.
No, man. I feel like it was recent because I remember you said that it was like shipping would be a pain
Yo,
in the
you
ass.
have something against
You would do
Glorious
it.
War,
Yeah, you
man.
like
I'm
him,
about
man.
to find out
I'm
what's
just
going
saying.
on.
I just remember. I'm
He's
just trying to
like-
keep it fair. That's all.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't like
it is, yeah.
Australians?
That are
You don't
always
like
in there. and
Australians. Yo,
most
man.
times,
yo,
most places
man,
they'll give.
Yo, man,
They'll do a
he's
year
out in
window.
Australia, man. He's
They'll do a year
he's
window
dealing
or
with
at
fire.
least
No,
a
we're
six
gonna
month
do it. It's a
window.
month window. If you want something this month, you don't win again. It's been a fucking year. He won fair and square, man.
Hey, one fair and square. It's all good. And
Yeah.
then
Yo,
you
I
know,
think he won
everybody
fair
in the
and
chat-
square. Won fair
everybody
and
in the
square
chat-
If you want to go based off of that, but
Yeah, everybody in the
Rich
chat
won
saying
fair
it's
and
fair.
square.
Yeah, all right.
yeah, it's fine.
See,
So yeah,
yeah.
Glorious War. You get a pretty cool Death Stranding poster and maybe something mysterious that I might put in there.
Oh boy.
Order?
All right,
especially
man. Yeah.
especially since the shipping is going to be as expensive, and you're probably
Yeah,
you know,
know.
2 months away from now. Because theoretically, if we go by that same logic, he could also win something again in the time frame that the poster takes to get
Oh,
there.
shit. No, he won't be able to win anything until he gets his poster. That's going to be his rule.
It's only fitting that a timed PlayStation exclusive would get to Glorious War.
You know.
It'll be there by the time it comes out on PC.
Glorious War says our lizards are big, and that's why Adam hates Australia.
Order?
Oh,
No. I hate all the other follow reasons.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
do the third. That is the rule. You can't win in a 30-day period, man. That is the rule. A month, So like Glorious War cannot.
You can't win
again.
twice.
You can't win twice. Yeah.
yeah. So like Subgata and Sketch and a few other guys who won recently, they can't win until later on. So we have them, and also I exclude them because of obviously because they won the poster. They don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on here. If Virtua Fighter returned, what Yakuza or Sega characters would you like to see added to the roster? You got to see Kiryu in that bitch.
Oh yeah.
He'd be perfect.
Yeah,
And
Kiryu.
Goro Majima, he'd be another one. That'd be cool.
Who's the guy with the knife? That's Goro. Not
Yeah, that's
Majima?
Goro. Yeah, with the eye patch.
Yo, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Shaco, man.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
dude. Yo,
The chicken.
crazy.
So the chicken from the bowling alley, John Chicken.
Yeah. What about what's his face? the pervert guy with the underwear and shit.
Oh. He's a
Yo,
boss.
Characters, man.
Oh,
We don't even need other Sega characters. We just get like the whole roster of Yakuza in that bitch, All right, that's a good one. All right, moving on here. Glorious War in the house.
Glorious war.
And these are the last two questions of the night unless somebody wants to get us some more questions. But anyway, his first question is, who will have the higher Metascore critic score? Last of Us 2 or Cyberpunk?
The Last of Us 2. That one's pretty easy.
I'm going to go with that one too, just because it's easier to digest, I guess.
It's a safer bet.
Safer bet, yeah.
Yeah, I will go with The Last of Us 2.
Not because it's a better game, just because it's kind of the safer bet. With knowing game journalists, that's probably the safer bet. Let's just be real.
Yeah. And then they're not creating a new genre. It's just a sequel to a game they released 7, 8 years ago,
Something like that.
So yeah, it's just easier for them to release a better quality product in terms of something that people are expecting to be like quality product.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way I see Cyberpunk beating the Metacritic score is if Cyberpunk is one of the best games of the generation.
Yeah, right, exactly. By the way, Adam, I see the X-Men vs. Street Fighter back there, brother.
Oh, yes,
man.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, moving on. The last question. What's up?
I want to know what Brian thinks about this.
Brian, what do you think, man?
Last of Us, because game journals are weak.
So
Damn.
really feel, bro.
Yo,
Damn.
man.
Those motherfuckers give 10 out of 10 for nothing, so Last of Us. Like, come on, like, we can't pretend that it's not going to get, like, 10s from, like, random places just because it is The Last of Us. Like, it's getting those 10s, purely because of the franchise, not because of the game. Watch. Like, the only people that would give, like, 7 out of 10 would be, like, Jim Sterling, just to, like, try and make a point, but everyone else would be like, oh, 10 out of 10, because you get to play as lesbian and sad. Like,
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I was just about to say that it ticks some boxes for these guys now. Not even about the gameplay.
Yeah, so, yeah, Last of Us. Cyberpunk, probably not, because Cyberpunk.
All right, does anybody
So
here
how
think
is-
Cyberpunk is going to get it?
I do.
Oh, dude.
Only because it's hitting more platforms, and there's going to be more outlets that cover just those platforms that'll jump in, as opposed to The Last of Us. It's PlayStation. It's an exclusive, so you're going to get the PC crowd and PC Max and stuff. I know somebody who works at PC Mag, and he talks a lot of shit. So I think he'll probably say some shit about that and say it's a butter game too. And Xbox and other platforms, and who knows? Maybe it'll be on Switch too. Anything's possible.
What about Switch 1?
Switch 1? No.
Well,
Switch Deuce.
But then again, now that I'm looking at it, The Witcher 3 or Wild Hunt is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the expansion, or
That's the whole game.
That's the whole game.
or is that the whole?
Yeah, that's the name.
Okay.
Of the
Base
game.
game.
Yeah, that's the base game. That one has a 92 on Metacritic for PlayStation 4, so it's not too shabby itself.
Yeah, no, Cyberpunk is going to get into the 90s. I don't think we're going to disagree on that one. Cyberpunk is going to be up just because of CD Projekt Red,
Let me look at The Last of Us. That shit must have like a 96 or 95.
I think I was like 97 or something.
I mean, man, The Last of Us, the first hour was fucking amazing. The storytelling, that cutscene, remember with the kid? And
Yeah, that
all
shit was
stuff?
crazy,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I'm only seeing the remastered one, and it's got 95, but that doesn't count. At least for me, it doesn't. Last of Us. Search all Last of Us. Came out, 2013?
Yeah, 2013,
Oh.
that's right, yeah.
Yep, 95.
Interesting. And Cyberpunk got what? 97?
91.
Oh, 91, okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting.
So they're close, but yeah, like Last of Us, it doesn't have as many hurdles as Cyberpunk does to get the high score.
Do you think, with the success of the Witcher series on Netflix, that we could be surprised with the Cyberpunk series on Netflix?
Who knows? It's possible.
I could see that easy.
Yeah, I can
Maybe
see
even tying in shortly after, a few months. By the way, guess what? Bam! We got a show coming.
Well, I mean, they're getting a lot of stuff now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, by the way, shout out to Techno Fabulous for all the bits. You know what we got to do, man? Call of Duty. Gotta hit you, man. Gotta hit you with that. And Glorious War, he's been throwing bits at us all night, man. So thank you for that as well, brother.
Appreciate that.
Yo, man, we're the bit bag now.
Yeah, oh man.
Damn.
Oh, by the way,
What's up?
when is episode 400?
Who the fuck knows? Torrance is always delaying that shit.
She's
Yo,
like,
man.
Torrance is not like us, man. He's not on a schedule. You know, he puts them up when he feels
he's
like
on the torrent. He's on the Davis schedule.
You know,
It's its own calendar.
yeah. Shout out to Big Daddy X with another question. So you're gonna keep the show going for a little bit longer. Anyway.
Oh, by the way, do the
so-
third asked another question too. I don't know.
What?
So I'll add that.
Yeah, go ahead, add it. Awesome. All right. Next question from Glorious War. Do you guys think the consolidation of video game industry in the next 5 to 10 years is inevitable? I think PlayStation and Xbox will buy a publisher like ZeniMax or Capcom. My prediction is PC storefront in with games exclusive to that store, just like the console and games everywhere with PS Now. I don't know. I don't know about that. Like basically everything's just gonna consolidate into one. Is that what you're trying to ask here?
I mean, if you start going off of what we see when it comes to the TV networks, yeah, they're getting gobbled up left and right all over the place. But I don't see that happening in consoles. I don't see Microsoft buying another major publisher, maybe like what, EA or something like that, or just buying Sony, or Sony buying.
There is a room. There is an old. There has been a rumor that's been running since early 2019 that Apple was looking to buy Sony.
Well, they're also looking to buy Netflix. So
yeah, they were looking to buy Sony because one of the reasons is because Sony, at least their movie side, they own all these kind of sort of well-known franchises, and they want to have their own essential movie studio. So essentially, because they're not fully able to do that sort of thing on their own side to kind of create original content, they would essentially buy another company.
It'll never happen.
But I don't know.
Sell a company to the West.
Yeah, it's a big if. Who would the Japanese executives sell to a Western company?
That's what I'm saying. It's frowned upon. They can't do that. That was the whole reason why Capcom couldn't sell to Microsoft. Microsoft apparently was offering double the asking price, and they said no, we can't do it. We can't sell it. So we'll give you some exclusives, and that's how they got
being owned by a Western company would dishonor the
and that's the shit. That's the one side of things. Like, we could say that with a straight face and like, yeah, that's just how it is. But that kind of sucks because it doesn't work the other way around.
No, it doesn't.
It's like, oh, you want a U.S. company? No problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened before. A bunch of Japanese companies were buying up land and buying up all kinds of different things in the United States, and they were just like, sure, cool, whatever, money.
It's like, oh, can we buy some over there? No.
So yeah, he's really talking about like, are we going to see a consolidation, kind of like how Disney's buying up everything? Do you think we're going to see something like that in the game industry?
No, I don't.
I don't think so. No.
There's no company. There's no real single company that even has that sort of ability. Almost.
There's only one company that I can think of that has that type of budget that can go crazy if they felt like it, and that's Google. If they felt like
Google, if they wanted to do that, but they.
I don't know about how long Stadia is going to last.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Also, Microsoft has that kind of capital to.
They do
push.
But I don't think they would make that investment for the one reason because that division is not doing incredibly well. The games division, it's doing well for them, but not like. I don't think they would be spending all that money on that. I mean, they already bought a bunch of companies already, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
A bunch of indie studios, though. They didn't buy like any AAA companies. Just saying.
I mean, if there's one big company that I think goes up on the market, it would be EA. Because of all the fucking flops that they've had.
Even today, even despite all the flops that they have, they kind of still are doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, they are. They still are. They're still making.
I mean, like you look at like the new Call of Duty game. That's
Activision. To be fair,
it's Activision.
Activision. Excuse me. Sorry. That's
Battlefield bombed.
Battlefield bombed. Star Wars bombed. But
Anthem bombed.
Anthem bombed. Man.
You know what I mean? It's like they make their money from FIFA, but they spend also a lot of money from FIFA and other projects. So if they have issues with FIFA,
Star Wars Jedi Order,
the Battlefront 2.
Battlefront, they put a lot of money into that.
Probably
did it flop though? Because I thought that.
No,
not the first one. Not the first
one. The second one did.
The second one.
Oh, okay.
That's where the loot box shenanigans.
Yeah, the shenanigans.
Crazy.
People just started boycotting.
If you think about it, that game is the game of the decade. Want to know why? Because it literally changed all of gaming.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
Glorious
can
War
put a
says.
spotlight on it.
Yeah, he says I actually see Sony buying a publisher first because the parent company has the most confidence in its gaming division. I mean, it's possible. I mean, they bought Insomniac, earlier last year.
not long
You
ago.
But
know?
these are small studios. I'm thinking of larger
Well, no,
publishers.
no, no,
that
no,
they
no.
would
They're not
buy.
gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't see that going. Definitely not Ubisoft because of all the
No,
bullshit
hell
that
no,
they
hell
went through
no.
with it. And
Ubisoft
remember,
will buy other studios.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Well, and they remember they were having issues not long ago
They
too.
were,
'Cause
yeah.
They weren't doing so good, and one of those sniping
Vivid
companies,
Games or something like that.
yeah, they were trying to fucking take them over and essentially burn them to the ground.
Pretty much.
Pretty much what happened to Toys R Us. So like a holding
Corporate
company wanted
takeovers,
to,
man.
yeah,
Just keep buying
a
the
holding
stock.
company wanted to buy the company and essentially sit on it, make a bunch of money, and then until it didn't make any more money anymore, and then throw it off.
It's so shady how all that works, though, and it amazes me that's even allowed to say, yeah, I buy stocks. And it's like, well, you don't have enough to take over the company. It's like, all right, well, then I'll just talk to all the other people that have stocks and buy it from them, and then add their stocks, and now I will have 51 or 52%. That's fucking scary.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to jump in on that game industry consolidation?
Consolidation, Asian.
All right, I'm gonna take that as a no. So we'll move. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's the inevitable problem that of you either get more games or better games. Choose one.
Good point.
Choose your
Choose your destiny.
I mean, that sounds like a shitty thing to say, and it doesn't need to be that simplistic, but kind of, I don't know, working in service industry and things like that, like there's the old, like, fast, quick, or cheap, choose two.
Yeah.
Or fast, good, or cheap, choose two. And it's, there is a kind of natural limit to these sorts of things. So as they get more expensive, you can, have more games, or you can have bigger games. I'm personally for more games. I don't think everything needs to be any shinier. We should just get different, newer games with newer stuff. But people like shiny, so I've lost that fight.
Brett, a question for you, man. Glorious War asks, rumor is that ZeniMax / Bethesda is looking to sell itself. Would Brett like that? If
It
it's true.
depends on what it is and how much of the team they want to keep together and how much of the secret to Elder Scrolls comes from the top management. I mean, I have personal beef with Elder Scrolls because I feel like it's been getting dumbed down each iteration for like 4 iterations, which in Elder Scrolls times is like 20 years. So I honestly don't know. I guess it depends on who it would be sold to and if they understand what actually makes Bethesda games special and continues with that. If somebody came along and said, hey, I can streamline this process. Awesome. Good to go.
Microsoft.
But dude, as I've said before, I've never seen somebody make a Bethesda game better than Bethesda. Open world, interactive environment, procedurally generated encounters.
I think people would counter that and say Obsidian.
You'd think that, but Outer Worlds was not it just did not feel like an Elder Scrolls game. Even though it was very similar, it lacked the magic. It's a great game in its own right, but it couldn't be a replacement.
Yo, you guys are making it rain tonight, man. Thank you, Big Daddy Hex and Glorious War.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys.
Make it rain, make it rain. All right, man. And next up, Mr. Big Daddy X. So his question is, what kind of co-op game will you like to see next generation? Interesting question.
Looter slasher.
Looter slasher?
Yeah, I forget the name. It's the only
Only what?
You only what? PS what now?
PS5 game.
Oh, Godfall, right?
Godfall.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Godfall. I'm excited for I'd like to see something akin to the Division with hack and slash mechanics, but this seems pretty. I don't know. It's dangerously close to Anthem though.
Yeah,
But I'd like to see different weapon styles, different melee attacks, possibly even PvP, like combine Dark Souls with Division.
Mine's
That would make
easy.
me happy.
Go ahead, Adam.
And if the rumors are true about the new Assassin's Creed, because that's heavy story based, and you can jump in and jump out co-op throughout the whole game. That'll be great, because then you can do all that stealthy attack and strategize. Like, all right, you take the front, I'll take the back, I'll cause a distraction. That'll be awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. If it's true, that's what I'm looking forward to. Because they tried to do it in Unity, and it just it didn't work out well. But they were on that path, and now it looks like they're going back to it and fixing it up a little bit. So hopefully it works out.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what new things you could do with co-op, but I'm like failing to come up with something.
To be honest, like for me, like I do like the idea of a jump in, jump out sort of co-op game, and I wish more games did that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like Gears of War.
Yeah, like
Gears
of War.
does it. Breakpoint does it.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 5 and
yeah.
5 did it.
Oh, bring back Army of Two.
Yeah, right. Oh man, what happened to that game?
Too. Right,
Yeah,
another EA
Army
IP
of
they
Two.
abandoned. They abandoned that shit.
I remember that.
Yeah.
One of the games isn't backward compatible on Xbox, but besides that, yeah, you can't really do much.
Interesting. Brian, what kind of co-op we want to see next gen?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I think it's really difficult to say what type you'll get, because they're definitely wanting to go more the looter shooter way, where it's just like we'll get you in a place, you shoot some guys, get some drops of some stuff, and then that's the game loop for 25 hours. So avoid that at all costs, because I think that's not going to be fun. Maybe try something like Crackdown. Again, I just want an Army of Two, like next gen, because I think that would be really great.
That's a second
That's
one for
another
Army
one.
of Two.
Oh,
It's a simple idea. It's you, another person going through. You can be tactical. If you wanted to, you could even go down like a Splinter Cell type thing, where it's like it's two of you, like a squad of you, taking down like a whole city of people or something like that. That could be cool, but you're not gonna get that. You're just gonna get looter shooters. So, yeah, sad days.
all right. Carlos, did you go?
Yeah.
All right. I think we got everybody right. Yeah, co-op will be interesting to see what new innovations they could do to it. All right. And the last question of the night from Do the Third. Did you guys see the Sideshow's Collectibles commercial for Street Fighter? It has the old arcade unit with the big punch buttons. Did anybody see this commercial?
Collectibles commercial? Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think any of us saw that, bro.
Yeah, I mean it's cool,
Sounds
but
awesome.
I haven't seen it.
What is it? I mean, is it a figure or what?
He just says it's a Sideshow Collectibles commercial for Street Fighter, and it has the old arcade unit with the big punch buttons. Remember the original Street Fighter arcade cabinet had that. But no, I haven't. To answer the question, no, I have not seen it.
I'm watching it now. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's my answer. I have not seen it. I didn't know.
Yeah,
it
I haven't
existed.
seen it. Yeah.
Is this for something
Oh,
new?
this is the original Street Fighter.
Yeah, but like, hold on, sites. Oh, I can't play it because I'm doing a fucking show.
Yeah. Sideshow Collectibles. I mean, is it Pop Coco? I mean,
I mean, we answered the question. No, we didn't.
It's the original Street Fighter, but it doesn't look like the original Street Fighter.
Yeah. He goes, it's in the background. It's for the new figures, he says.
Oh, that's why. I was going to say, it's like, yeah, because everyone's posing, but I don't see anyone playing. And I saw the cabinet, but...
Yeah, I think he's asking this question just if we saw the cabinet or not, because that's old school right there.
Yeah, the commercial for
that's
it.
awesome.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's
for figures. It's for figures, Manny.
it's for the statues by what's those guys?
Sideshow
PCS
Collectibles.
The show Sideshow.
Well, no, but Sideshow also sells products by other companies as well as making their own. and I think a lot of the ones are by this PCS company.
Yeah. What's upsetting is that Arcade One Up showed up that they have another Street Fighter where they're revamping this one, and it still doesn't have stereo sound.
No, they never had. They
It
never had
did.
stereo
It
sound.
did, and that was the issue. That it does. It's just mono. Doesn't sound right. You don't. There's lots of tracks and stuff that you hear that don't sound right. You're missing sounds from it because it doesn't have all the supported channels. You would think they would have went down that road. I'm really surprised that they didn't. I mean, they added the backlit buttons like line and the marquee and stuff. So they're going down that road. But I don't know. They could have added a few more games too. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Because think about it, if they had one ultimate one where it had all the Street Fighters, Alpha, and all the other ones, that'd be kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I would think they would probably keep the alphas together on one.
Alpha.
With some online play, now they have the NBA Jam doing the online for free. So if they did that with Street Fighter with that one, shit.
With the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, some of the games have online, not all of them. They're like Street Fighter Alpha 3 is the only one of the alphas that has it. If I remember correctly, it's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo has online, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and there was another one that had. It was 4 games.
Third Strike was a good one. That was when you did the sidestep. A lot of people bitched about that sidestep.
I didn't like the Third Strike.
Yeah, like did it make you happy?
The fucking no, it didn't make me happy. The fucking the countering shit. I'm like, that's not Street Fighter.
Yeah, that was the countering.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. All right, I think we're done here, people. So congratulations to Glorious War for winning the poster. We're gonna have more giveaways for the rest of the year, probably. You know,
Yep,
we're gonna be on top of that life, man.
Just to remind you that we have two types of giveaways. We have the randomizer giveaway, which should probably be posters, T-shirts, and all kinds of other things. And then when we start giving away games and bigger sort of things, that's when we'll have you work a little bit. Where we'll make sure you got to make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, all that shit.
All that stuff, and then you're gonna make you, and we're gonna have you answer a question. And if multiple people answer the same answer, that's when we go to the wheel.
Yes. What we're going to do for the big heavy prices, let's say we're going to do it. Let me bring up the calendar here. It's going to be in February, right? So let's say starting on February 13th, I'm going to give away a Logitech keyboard to you guys.
Whoa.
That'll be good. That's because just letting you guys know, the 30th and the 6th, I will not be here. I'm going to be traveling, gaming shit. Money, work. So let's start it on the 13th. That'll be good, because again, I got keyboards, I got fucking controllers, all this shit to give away. I got to clear up space, people. If you guys can see this shit, man, it's crazy.
Man, you live in a warehouse now.
I really do, man. I really do. But yeah, we're done here, people. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us some questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
If you guys want a free copy of Gemini Man, head over to thecoalition.com. We got a fucking box of those Blu-rays. So if you want one, just sign up.
A box of Blu-rays?
Gemini Man.
Not
Gemini Man.
Didn't Jet just come out?
It just came out. It's on Blu-ray already. That's all I'm saying.
I swear it was in theaters last month.
Over a box of these things to give away.
God
So
damn.
we have a little form there. Go ahead, sign up. There's a good chance you're gonna win one.
Brett Murdoch.
It's been real, guys. I am actually going on vacation.
Where you going, yo?
Oh, you cut off on the punchline again.
Yeah, he going on vacation?
Yeah, I'm going on vacations.
Oh, nice. You going to Hawaii again?
I am.
Ah, very nice.
Oh, very nice.
Aloha, brother.
Yeah, Hawaii's awesome.
Ohana.
And I'm going to wish you a happy birthday now, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, not an Adam happy birthday, like a real birthday. Brett's birthday's in
Oh,
like 6
damn,
days.
Adam.
But that's the whole point of saying
Told
it,
you,
because
fake
there's so many
news.
people that forget birthdays, and then when you finally hit it, then they're like, "Wow, this fucking guy remembered," and he's not even the person they should remember. Thank you.
Oh, man,
Well,
you
also
crazy.
you also do have a cell phone. You could just put birthdays on.
Yeah, we don't live in those days, man. Anyway, and of course Brian Manjoma.
It's been real, people. And just remember, Final Fantasy VII is overrated.
Oh man, and The Last of
Facts.
Us, right, Brian?
Not as overrated, but yeah.
Oh man. All right, people. We'll see you on Thursday later.
Later, guys.
Deuces.
Deuces.